Hey guys, Jory Hearn from Tagged Out Taxidermy. So today I'm working on some Heroes, mostly bear skulls. And what I'm going to do is show you guys how I whiten my skulls. And a lot of times, most of the time, if not 100% of the time, when you do a bear skull, the teeth get loose in there and want to fall out. So what I do to keep track of those teeth is I macerate my skulls. You can see it has kind of a brownish off-white color to them. But what I do is I stick them in those women's laundry bags. That basically they're little mesh bags that you stick your laundry in, so that they don't get beat up in a washing machine. And by doing that, you're capturing all the teeth. And even if you decide that you want to boil your skulls, you can still stick them in those bags and boil them, and you won't lose your teeth, and everything boils out nicely. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you how I mix my whitening. I've watched videos where guys put quite a bit of this. It's basically meant to be used with the whitener, and I use the 40 volume cream, but I will mix this basic white extra strength. It's a powder. But when I mix it, I want to make sure that I don't use too much, because if it's too thick, for some reason it doesn't want to spread over your skull real well. So I like to make it fairly runny, about like, I don't know, a little bit runnier than pancake batter. And I'll put them together and just mix them up real well. And you definitely want to wear gloves, because this will burn your skin. I usually wear a mask, but it makes it hard to talk, so I'm just going to use gloves today. It's pretty caustic stuff. You can see it's fairly runny, but I'd say it's probably about just like pancake batter. And also, if it's a little bit runnier, it won't just sit on the surface of the skull. It'll soak into some of those pores. Now on my bear skulls, I actually clean out the septum and the nose area. That way I don't have to worry about trying to get all that white. Because even if you end up getting it completely white on the surface, it's really hard to get the little pieces of meat or whatever it is back in here, deep in. So once it's white, you'll actually have a little bit of a dark showing through the skull here. And I'll just really put this on thick. And usually what I'll do is I'll wipe a layer on there, sort of thin to start with, just to make sure that I got all these areas covered, and I'm allowing for that bone to get real saturated, and then I'll come back with another layer and get it a little bit thicker. also like to make sure that I get right here where the teeth are, where the teeth would go. I also like to pull my teeth, trying to pull most of my teeth, because I like to save that kind of patina or stain colored on the teeth. And if you don't pull them, then this will actually whiten them, and you will lose all that stain and everything on your teeth. I'm going to come in here and just make sure I have a really good layer, second layer on top of this first layer. This skull is actually already turning white. So now that I got that, the main part of the skull, I'm going to go ahead and do this bottom jaw. So what I usually do is I'll take my bottom jaw, get it covered real well, and I'll just stick it in here. You know, it fits pretty good if you stick it right in where these jaw muscles are. And it kind of just sits right alongside. And this is my last bear for the day, so I'm just going to take the rest of this and I'm just going to kind of pour it on there, get it all spread out. This is definitely an overkill, but I have a lot of excess here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on there. And the whitener, I think there's a little bit of a misconception that the whitener degreases the skull. It really doesn't. I mean, it may take some of this out, but it's not going to take very much. So after I get this all the whitener on it, what I'll do is I'll wrap this up in plastic wrap. And what that will do is it'll keep my whitener from drying out, and it allows the whitener to work longer. And I leave this here for, usually I end up leaving it for a couple days just because I get into other projects, but really about 2 days, even depending on the skull. They all whiten at a different rate, but usually what I'll do is a couple days. It's not going to hurt, it's not going to make the skull fall apart or deteriorate or anything. And then when I'm ready to wash this whitener off, what I'll do is I will take and I'll get a clean pot boiling or nearly boiling, and I'll shut it off. And then I'll take this skull and I'll just, with the saran wrap and everything on it, and I'll just submerge it into that boiling water. And by doing that, it basically rejuvenates the whitener, and for some reason it just really makes that skull white. And it also allows you to clean the skull, all the whitener off the skull easier. Anyways, I hope this helps. It's super easy to do. This whitener, it's 40 volume cream, and then I use this basic white extra strength for the powder, and that's about it. And I get all this stuff at Sally's Beauty Supply.